All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for attending the first session of week 2. My name is Adrianna Tso. Adrianna Tso Yinashek, also Hananashlank, Ani Bashashchin, Tedeshkrizni Dashchek, Oge Dashanale. I'm really happy to have you all here. I hope that you all had a great weekend wherever or whatever you were doing. I know I took a little solo getaway and I got to go down to Phoenix, which, oh my God, it was fun, but the weather was crazy. It was like over 110. It was like 119 or something. It was so hot to the point where even though the sun went down, it was still over 100, which was so crazy. But anyways, but I hope you all had a good weekend, got some rest in. I know we're approaching the beginning of the school year very fast, so I know some of you might have already been starting school. Some of you might be starting school like within the first couple days of August. Nonetheless, thank y'all so much for being here. Again, this is the Sko to College series, and it's your first steps to college prep. So it's all about college readiness. We had 3 really awesome sessions last week. So again, if you missed any of those, feel free to look on our YouTube channel. They're all posted there. But yeah, we still have a lot of sessions to go. We have 3 more this week and then 3 more next week, which will be our last week. But let's go ahead and get started with this. So again, thanks everybody for joining. I just want to do a little bit of what is it called? Icebreakers. So if everybody wants to post in the chat where you're tuning in from, shout out your tribal affiliation. And then today's icebreaker question is, what is your comfort movie or TV show? So myself, I'm not too much of a movie person. Well, I'm not too much of a TV show person, I should say. I'm more into watching movies and everything. But my comfort movie I was tuned to whenever I just want to like chill or just have something on in the background is Lilo and Stitch. I don't know, just something about that movie is really soothing, and the soundtrack, of course, is also really awesome. So feel free to answer the question in the chat. Tuning in from Bayfield, Colorado. Nice. 90s out there. Okay, not too bad. That's nice. Tucson, Tona Optum, reality TV. Oh yeah, definitely reality TV. I was on a Jersey. I go back to Jersey Shore every now and then and watch it just to have like as background noise. All right, awesome. Yeah, whenever you guys get a chance, go ahead and you can introduce yourself in the comments just to um, get to know everybody. Spirit or 10 Things to Hate About You. Nice. So there's some solid movies. Spirit was one of my favorite movies growing up, even though it made me cry every now and then. I don't know what it is, but that's another movie that also has a really great soundtrack. Choctaw Nation, Ardmore, Oklahoma. Criminal Minds is my comfort. Nice, nice. I haven't gotten into Criminal Minds yet, but I've definitely been told by a lot of my friends that it's a really good show. Pocahontas, nice. Another good soundtrack. Open Season. Oh my God, I haven't seen that movie in forever. House of Dragon, awesome. I haven't seen that one yet, but I definitely need to get onto that one. Charlie St. Cloud, nice. Coraline. Coraline is another really good one. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna have to put all of these movies on my movies and TV shows on my need to watch list. So we're gonna have to get that going here pretty soon. But thanks, y'all. We always really appreciate the interactiveness in the chat. So feel free to type any comments or anything that resonates with you. You can put your thoughts in the chat. We also have some really cool like emojis here as well. I know there's a happy face, there's one that's like a heart, there's one that's like a thumbs up or something. Just any type of interaction whenever we have our guests is always really appreciated. So thank y'all. But again, we're in week 2. So again, keep in mind all of these times are in Mountain Daylight Time. So we're in New Mexico. I'm in New Mexico, so that's what we're going off of. But today we're going to be talking about creating your schedule and talking about credit hours and also time management. So that's what I'm going to be hosting today. So yours truly is hosting our session today. And then tomorrow we'll be having conferences 101 with Loyola Rankin. And then we'll round off week 2 with managing stress, learning for healthy habits for stress with Jacqueline Salvi. So we'll be doing that. And then right after that session, we'll be going right into our first year socials. So you can stay on to that same chat or that same Zoom link on Thursday, and we'll just go right into the social, and then we can just kind of talk, debrief about everything that's been talked about this week, and then just kind of get to know each other as well. If you ever want to find any updates, live updates, I really suggest that you follow our social media, which is at Native Healthways on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok as well. And then we also have our link tree on all of our social medias as well. That's where you'll also find all the registration links and everything too. So really encourage you to follow Native Pathways, but we also have our first year newsletter as well, which I'll talk a little bit more as we get into the presentation. Again, we're going to be giving out prizes as well. So we're going off of a tier system. So the more sessions that you attend, the bigger the prizes get. So if you attend one session, you'll be entered to win a $50 Amazon gift card. If you attend 2 sessions, you'll be entered to win a pair of Sony wireless headphones. If you attend 3 sessions, you'll be entered to win an Amazon Fire tablet. And if you attend 4 or more sessions, you'll be entered to win a grand prize of a laptop. So really awesome prizes here. And the one ticket item or the ticket that gets you into the door prizes to, get to the different tiers and everything is to fill out the event evaluations that are prompted after each session. So again, I'll be releasing that this next session or after the session. But yeah, feel free to do that. We have some really cool prizes going. So now I'm going to get into my introduction. So this is usually when I introduce our guest host, but I'm the guest host this time. So um, this is kind of weird seeing me on the screen, but again, hello everybody. My name is Adrianna Tso. I'm a college success coach with the American College Fund, and I also lead the first year program, which is the program that's hosting this college series. And the first year program is for students who are in their first year of college, whether you're a traditional or a non-traditional student. Or just need, a refresh on college, getting back into the college readiness mindset. And yeah, all this is supplemental support for college students, and anybody is welcome to join. And we usually host different sessions over the school year as well, all revolving around mental health, motivation, academic success, well-being, personal development. So we go over those different themes as well. So it's kind of like the summer series, but as we're in the depth of the college or the school year, basically. But I'm originally from Gallup, New Mexico, and I am enrolled in the Navajo Nation. I am Tzlufana, which is many goats. I am born for the Towering House clan, which is Kia'ani. And I'm a first generation graduate student or first generation college student. So I graduated with my bachelor's in business administration from Fort Lewis College with a minor in data analytics. And I'm also a transfer student too. So I did start out at Fort Lewis, but I transferred in, and that whole process was really crazy in itself. A lot of learning experiences there, especially being a first generation student. But my biggest thing was, really getting involved on campus and really getting to know the different communities and different clubs, societies, and everything on campus. And one of my things I always love to tell my students that I work with is, work on building your confidence, networking, going out to the different things that are happening out on campus, whether it's club fairs, college fairs, what are they, job, career fairs, any club meetings or anything that you're interested in. I'll go more into that here. We're going to talk a little bit about so again, yeah, okay, we already went through this. I don't know why it's on here again. Oh, let's see. Oh, okay, I see. Never mind. Sorry, I have my own separate presentation, so let me share that. Okay, let's see. So I'm working off of PowerPoint today. So again, my session I'm going to be talking about is the first year setting your own schedule. So we'll be talking a lot about time management, study habits, different methods to use in your own, finding your own schedule, your time management schedule and everything. So here's a schedule. We'll be talking a little bit about the first year timeline, like usually the big events that happen throughout the year, just so you can use those as like big markers. And then yeah, time management tips, how to stay focused and motivated. Then we'll do the closing. But yeah, here's what I was kind of trying to get to. So I'm going to be sharing a little bit about my college experience, my first year of college. So right away after I graduated high school, I moved to Oregon, where I went to school for 2.5 years, and it was a big change. I mean, not only the environment coming down from the Southwest up to the Pacific Northwest, the environment, the change of scenery was beautiful. I loved it. But I also experienced a lot of different things like culture shock, just being in a whole different environment, homesickness, being so far away from home. the fear of missing out, FOMO, especially during when we had like our big events on the Navajo Nation, like the fair, Navajo Nation Fair, Western Fair. It's like the two that I go to all the time. And then some health problems too, like vitamin D deficiencies. So that was really funny because when I did my orientation, the staff there were talking to us saying, those of you who are coming from very sunny states, like California or the Southwest or something, make sure you're maintaining your vitamin D deficiencies or start taking vitamins, just because going from there to the Pacific Northwest where it's mostly cloudy, like a lot of the times out of the year, your body can kind of go into shock and everything. So then you can also get vitamin D deficiency. So just make sure you're maintaining your health and everything. And I didn't believe it at first. I was like, oh, that's not going to happen to me. I'll be fine. And then it didn't hit me until like my second semester of college. That's when I was like, ooh, okay, I feel some changes here. And then got a checkup, and then they told me I gotta start taking vitamin D vitamins. So that was a really funny story. But yeah, I actually took part of a pre-orientation, which was kind of like adventures where you got to explore the country. Oh my God, the state of Oregon. So I signed on a little bit late, so I didn't get to go do all the cool things like camping, surfing, um, backpacking, or all those different things. But I got to do something called an urban pursuits. So that's where a group of us went into Portland, and we stayed in a hostel, and we got to really just explore the whole city. So that was really fun. And I honestly really enjoyed that because it helped me get my groundings of being in a whole new environment. Never been to Portland, never been to Oregon before. So going to go do these pre-orientation activities is really cool and kind of helped me get my groundings and kind of get to know this, the city a little bit more. But yeah, my biggest thing, like, again, was finding community. I joined a lot of different clubs, talked to a lot of different people. I also did work study as well, which you can get qualified for through FAFSA, the federal free application for financial aid. I forget what it is, but that's the thing that you have to fill out every year, right? So I worked at the advising center, I worked at admissions, I worked for our mailroom on campus. And through all those 3 different jobs that I held, I met so many different amazing people, and not even including the clubs that I joined as well. I met my best friend while I was there in Oregon. We met on he was there, and then she pulled me on a ski trip that she went with her German club. And yeah, that was my first time doing all of that, and it was really fun. Again, it was something that really helped me step out of my comfort zone and helped me gain a lot of learning experiences. And I also went through some academic stuff too. So like I failed my first class my first semester because it was a 7 a.m. class that I wasn't prepared for, and I never went to class. And I gotta tell you, 7 a.m. in high school compared to 7 a.m. in college, I feel like are very different. So that's where I really experienced that. I also experienced discrimination, unfortunately. Again, just being completely out in a whole different environment. Roommate drama, that wasn't too fun, but all that, I persevered and I got through it, and now I have stories to tell people and try to avoid the same different mistakes that I went through. So but they're learning experiences, right? So yeah, and then all of that, again, setting your own schedule because you're the one that has to kind of take care of yourself and balance a lot of different things around academics, around personal stuff, around your social life, around if you get a job, finances and all of that. So we're going to kind of get into this. So these are just like a little bit of my credentials saying, I was there, I was in your footsteps, and I made it through. So you're definitely going to get through it. So now let's look through the first year timeline. So this is the timeline that I just put together to kind of help you visualize where the big events are going to happen each semester or quarter. I know people have different academic calendars, and these are all subjective to your college or university that you're attending. So just keep that in mind. I just tried to keep this as general as I could. So around, we're getting into the fall time, getting ready for the fall timeline. Around June or July, a little bit of August maybe, you're going to be getting a lot of communications for orientation. So some colleges will have different programs like the one that I mentioned, the pre-orientation, or they'll have a first year program or a bridge program where first year students get to move onto campus a week or a couple days earlier so that they can do their own separate thing since you'll be new students and coming to that college. But then some other questions you should ask yourself around this time is, when do I move into dorms? When is that date? have I checked my email yet? You know, when does the semester begin? When do I need to plan to go to classes and all of that? Then August, September, that's when fall semester usually begins, fall quarter or your first day of classes. So this is where the first few weeks will be just reviewing your class schedule, your class syllabus, getting to know where all of your classes are on campus. And then some good things to ask yourself here is, you know, when is the add drop date? When is the last day I can add classes to my schedule if I want to do that? Or when is the last day that I can drop a class if I need to do that? Then October is usually kind of when midterms happen, and midterms is just a checkpoint to see how you're doing in classes before final exams. So this is just will be like a different, these will be like tests that you'll do. And again, just keep in mind it's like a checkpoint. So do you understand the course material? Who do I need to reach out to if I need help? Do I need to go to tutoring? Do I need to reach out to my professor? Do I need to go to those office hours? You know, just kind of help yourself gauge where you're at as far as obtaining the content that you're going to class for. And then November, I kind of just labeled it as crunch time because this is kind of like the calm, kind of the calm before the storm. This is when you start to prep for final exams at the end of the semester, as well as register for spring classes. So this is when you'll get a lot of that communication. Oh, shoot. Oh, sorry. I thought I lost my screen for a second. So this is when you'll ask yourself, is everything ready for spring semester? Okay, sorry about that. Again, my power trip, so I lost power for a second. But thank y'all so much for joining back on. And again, we are recording these sessions, and I just hit record again. So we're gonna get this next session. So um, if you are not able to join back on, then we'll, you know, you'll have this video to look back on. It'll be on our YouTube channel. So, but yeah, so it's really important to talk about or to, you know, visualize your semester, utilizing a timeline. Using your academic calendars are really good to use because usually your institution, your college's academic calendar, because they'll have some big dates to look out for. So like I mentioned, when the beginning of classes are, when your add drop date is, when you can add class, when the last day is to add classes or drop class, when midterms might be, any class closures as well, like due to holidays or anything. And then like, you know, finals and then end of the semester basically. So that's kind of a glimpse into what the fall timeline looks like. So the spring is a little similar. It's similar, but I feel like spring is so much different and it's so much faster for some reason. Like everything comes so quickly. But in January, again, the same thing. That's usually when your spring semester begins or your quarter, or sometimes people have like winter quarters. So you'll have classes throughout winter or the January month. But again, a good time to take note of important dates and review your class syllabus. But this is also where you can kind of get some ideas or reflection on what worked for you. What worked for me last semester, you know, I went through my first semester of my first year. What are some things that I learned? What are some things that I want to do differently this term? What are my goals for this semester now? And then February, that's when you start to really prepare for your next academic year. This is when you'll get a lot of communications regarding, you know, if you're planning to live on campus again, filling out the housing application, financial aid opportunities. That's when a lot of the applications will open up or start to, um, you know, advertise either on like social media, email, or whatever. So you can apply for those and start to plan to apply for those other summer opportunities. Some schools will do like, you know, summer classes, or some will have even like summer travel where you can do an internship and travel. But, you know, a lot of these things will start to be advertised during this time. So it's going to be a lot of information, but just keep in mind, you know, what what you want to do or what you want to prepare for the next academic year. And then, you know, you can also ask yourself, do I know what I want to major in? Some people already know what they want to major in when they first get into college, which is great, and then they can declare their major. But don't worry about that. You know, if you're still trying to, you know, look around, you know, take different classes here and there and see what works for you or what you're interested in, really your first year or second year are going to be the time to do that and to, you know, explore into these different fields and see what you want to do. And then until about your second year or something, that's when you'll be prompted to declare your major, your minor, or whatever you need to do, you know, so you have time. So then in March, again, midterms usually happens around this time. Again, just keep in mind, this is a checkpoint to see how you're doing in those classes, if you need to reach out for help, if you understand the material. And then April again is that crunch time, start preparing for final exams at the end of the semester. And then make sure you're finalizing your fall classes for next academic year and make sure everything's ready for fall semester. And then finally you hit May or June, and that's when you can celebrate completing your first year of college. You can, look back on all the things that you did this past semester and, really set yourself up for with how you want to do next year or your next following years. And, just relax. If you're not taking any classes during the summer, that's great. If you are, that's also good too. You can get prepared for those. But the big thing is that you finished your first year of college, so you can celebrate. Woo! So a little bit of participation here. So what might be some other dates to be mindful while you're in school? I know I mentioned a few, but what are some other things that you might be thinking of? Feel free to turn your mic on or you can type your answer in the chat. Family vacations, yeah, definitely. You need to take some time to relax on vacation when you can. And again, for those of you who are just joining us again, I'm so sorry, my power tripped. So I lost power there for a few seconds, but luckily I was able to get back on. So thanks y'all for joining back on. So what are some other dates to be mindful of while you're starting to fill out your schedule for school? Family birthdays, definitely. Yeah, you might be going back home and going back to a dinner or going to go spend some time with some family. Powwows, yeah, if you participate or if you want to go to powwows, definitely that's something to look out for and make sure that, if you're missing any classes or anything, you are able to reach out to your professors and let them know or get any, content that you could be missing. Sundances for sure, any type of ceremony, those are definitely things to keep in mind. Awesome, thank you. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so now we're going to go into some examples of daily schedules. So this is where I wanted to pull in the storytelling factor of looking at different examples of people or individuals that have different daily schedules, just to help yourself visualize or see how, as a student, you have a lot of different things that you might also be responsible for. So some examples, you might have kids, you might be a caretaker, you might already have a job, like a full-time job somewhere. You might be a part of different clubs on campus or a part of, a society or volunteer or something, you have different hats that you wear. So it's important to also work in some time in your schedule to make time for those different things that you have to do, other responsibilities and stuff. So before that, let's go ahead and define a few words. So these are some words that I'm going to be using and just to kind of break down and make sure that, we're all understanding what we're coming from. But credit hours are a form of measurement most colleges or universities use to track how many credits a class is worth. So I'll go into a better breakdown of that in the next slide. But full-time students, that means you take 12 or more credit hours. So for each institution, it's different. Usually some institutions, one class is 3 credit hours. So that would be, you would take 4 or more classes. Part-time student is taking anything less than 12 credit hours. So that would deem you a part-time student. First generation student is a student who is the first in their family to attend college or university. And then internships are where a student works in an organization in order to gain work experience or to satisfy a requirement for a degree or qualification. So some degrees will ask you to fulfill so many hours of an internship with, organization or business. Or sometimes you'll just have that as an option to do as well. So it can be required or it doesn't have to be required. So credit loads vary for everybody. Credits, again, are the main form of measurement for a lot of institutions. 12 to 18 credits is considered a full-time student, and then anything under 12 credits is a part-time student. 1 hour of classroom learning plus 2 hours of independent work. So on an average 3 credit course, you can expect to spend around 3 hours in the classroom and about 6 hours studying or doing homework each week. So again, some classes you'll meet 3 times a week. So that'll be Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday or something. And then you'll do about 2 hours per day for homework. So that'd be about 6 hours approximately. But again, that varies for everybody. And each institution requires a number of credits to earn a degree. So on average, an associate's 2-year degree would be about 60 credits. And then a bachelor's 4-year degree would be about 120 credits. But again, each institution varies. Some schools do have a program to help first year students graduate, quote unquote, on time. Again, because on average, 4 years is like the traditional way to graduate. But we know that people take different journeys to graduate with their degrees, so it doesn't always happen in 4 years. But if it does, that's great. If it doesn't, that's also great too. It's not a race. So some schools have reported to do like 15 to finish. So 15 to finish is taking 15 credit hours per semester to graduate on time in 4 years. So there's some programs that are like that as well, and you can think about those. Some schools will have that, some don't, but you can always inquire with your institution. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. My laptop is just not working right now. My camera just froze up. So we're gonna get through it, y'all. I swear. I promise you, we're gonna get through this. So but let's get back into it. So where were we talking about? Storytelling. Okay. Cool. So we're here. We talked a little bit about the credit breakdowns and stuff, and now we're going to look at some examples of a daily schedule of different college students. So we're going to be using some characters from Reservation Dogs. So I'm pretty sure most of you have seen it, but hopefully if you haven't, you can always watch it on Hulu. They have all the episodes on Hulu, but unfortunately they're not making any more episodes, which is sad. But I still wanted to use some of the characters here nonetheless as well to do a little bit of storytelling. So let's look at Cheese. So Cheese is a first-year student at Haskell Indian Nations University, and he's planning to do a Bachelor of Arts in Creative Writing. And Cheese is a first-generation student, so meaning he's the first person in his family to go to college. But he's going to plan to live off of campus and be a caretaker for his grandma. So that's going to take a lot of time. And he's also going to be a full-time student. So he's going to be planning to take 12 credit hours, which again is 4 classes. And again, looking at that good rule of thumb, he'll be taking about 8 to 10 hours approximately on homework per week. Again, it varies for a different person. But you can see, him coming in as a first-year student, he already has a lot on his plate, especially being a caretaker for his grandma. But it's important for him to make sure that he's making enough time to attend classes, and then also do homework and study and everything on time. So this just kind of gives you an example of what one's schedule might look like. Okay, now we're going to look at Rita. So Rita is a non-traditional student at the College of Muskogee Nation. So she'll be doing and attempting Associate of Science in Tribal Services. So non-traditional student meaning she didn't go to college right after high school. She maybe went into the workforce or did something else before immediately going into college, but now she's going to college. And she's a parent and she has a full-time job. So as we know, she works at the local IHS and she works more than 20 hours per week. So again, that takes a lot of her time as well. And then in the evening, she does commute to campus and then takes 6 credit hours, which means 2 classes. So she's a part-time student. So with this, she spends approximately about 3 to 4 hours each evening on homework. So even when you're a part-time student, you still want to make sure you're making enough time for your school and your classes and homework. And then that you also want to make sure, while you have a full-time job, you're still doing everything for that and making sure you're making enough time to commute and everything. So, a lot of first-year students look like this as well. They have kids, they might already have a job, and they might be, going to college for the first time too. So they'll still make it happen. They just have to work out their schedule a little bit more. And now Alora, so we know at the end of the series, Alora does end up going to college. So when I created this presentation at first, this was a storytelling kind of like predicting what was going to happen or just, using it. So it's funny that she actually does, enroll into college and everything. So that's cool. But in this scenario, Alora is a full-time student at the Institute of American Indian Arts, and she's wanting to obtain a Bachelor of Arts in Cinematic Arts and Technology. So she wants to go into film. And she'll be graduating with her bachelor's in spring of 2025, so it's upcoming spring. And she'll be doing a filming internship in the fall as well, while being a full-time student in college. And she does hold 2 leadership roles in 2 clubs. So on campus, she's the president of one club and then the president of another club. And then she does live off campus. So, and it's not too far of a commute either. And she'll be taking about 15 credit hours. So that's about 5 classes per week. So approximately she'll spend about 10 hours on homework per week. But again, she has to do her internship and stuff. So, I just wanted to put these scenarios in there just to help you kind of visualize the diversity of a person's schedule each day and the different scenarios they might have. And also, the different hats that you might wear on top of being a student, having a job, being a caretaker, having kids, doing an internship, or a lot of different things that are going to happen. So it's really up to you to kind of make sure that you have enough time in your schedule for all of this. So now we're going to go into how to build. You might have to go into building my schedule. So again, taking those scenarios, think about yourself, whether you're in college right now or you're going into college for the first time. Or even if you're, when you're working or something, think of things that take up a lot of time in your life. So it can be classes, it can be your job, it can be, taking care of your kids or spending time with your kids, maybe doing hobbies, like sewing or playing sports or, artwork or, just a lot of different things. Just think about those things that take up your time while you're in other than school and stuff. So try to piece those things together. And find the tool that works for you. The tool or the tools, you might use multiple different ones. So some popular ones might be a physical planner. If you're really into writing things down, highlighting, using different colored pens, stationery, that might be a good thing for you, putting post-it notes. Utilizing an online calendar. This is cool because it's automatic and you can, download the app right onto your phone and you can set yourself to have reminders. And then you can also sync different things to your different calendars. So if you wanted to sync your calendar to maybe your partners or to friends around you or something and say, oh, I'm actually going to be busy Friday, look at my schedule, then you'll see that you have something planned for that Friday so that you're not double booked on anything, Reminder apps, there's a lot of reminder apps out there as well. You have the general one on your phone. You also have a few that, will pop up on your screen and let you know what you need to get done or where you need to be. And then note important dates. So again, really stressing the add drop dates. Sometimes this can be called census day at your schools, but this is the last day to add any classes or drop any classes. Any school closures, again, holidays or anything like that. And then exam days, so you can make sure when you need to start preparing for those or studying for those exams. A pro tip, again, your class syllabus will have a semester outline, including each exam date and deadline. So when you're going to classes for the first time, your instructors will give you a paper copy or they'll let you know where you can find the digital copy of their syllabus. Make sure you really read those because that can be a big key to help you, succeed throughout that class in the semester because they note a lot of different things. Not only will they note like, who the professor is, what the class is going to be about, but they'll have the class schedule on there so that you see week 1 syllabus week or something. It's week 2. We're going to be, lecturing on this different topic or something. Week 3, we'll be doing this other lecture, and then you'll have a paper due this week. And then week 4, we'll have an exam this week, but no homework. It'll like some of them will really get into detail like that. And then they'll also tell you how much each assignment will be worth. So sometimes they'll use points. So like your essay will be like 40 points or an assignment might be 10 points. And sometimes you can kind of, don't quote me on this, but you can kind of cheat the system too, where it's like, okay, well, if I focus all my time on this exam, then I won't have to really worry about scoring high on this essay. But don't take that into consideration. Always make sure you're doing your best. But sometimes come in dire needs, you might need to, just kind of strategize a little bit, but that can help you strategize or see what you need to really spend a lot of your time on too. So you can utilize that. Use color coding. Color coding really helps organize your thinking and makes items and deadlines stand out to you. So for any, big papers that you need to do, you can highlight that in yellow. Any deadlines like that you need to complete something or turn something in, you can highlight that in orange or whatever you like. Any like club meetings or work or when you need to pick up the kids or, anything like that, you can highlight those in different areas. So you can kind of help strategize and categorize in your mind as well. And it helps you, and it helps also to establish a routine to help you stay on track of all aspects. So, while you're doing classes, it's really easy because it'll tell you Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm in class in the mornings, and then the afternoons I have open basically. But you might have a job in the afternoons for about 4 hours or something. So if you help yourself set your schedule or set a routine, then it'll help you visualize in your mind when you can have open time or free time. If you want to go, relax, or you want to go grocery shopping, or you want to do these different things, just so you know that you're not, double booking yourself, or you're not running late for different things that you might need to do. So this is just an example of what I utilized when I was in college. I utilized online calendar as well as a physical planner. I more so use the online calendar to send reminders to my phone whenever I need to go to class. So, on Monday morning, what is that, like 9 a.m., I have operations management. So it'll pop up on my phone about 30 minutes beforehand, say, hey, you have class in 30 minutes. You might want to get walking now or something like that. I also have tutoring in there as well and different things. That's also a part of intramural sports too, so I would schedule that in here and let myself know when I need to go to the gym and get ready for that. And then planner I would more so use to like check off things and make sure I'm getting everything done. And I love check boxes. I love highlighting stuff and everything. And I love at the end of the day when I look at my schedule and I see that I have all my boxes check marked, I'm like, okay, it was a productive day. So if if your mind likes that or something, you can trick yourself into doing things like that and make sure that you're being productive and getting all of your things in on time. So these are just some examples that I had that I want to show you. All right, so now we're going to get into a little bit of time management tips. So these are just some things that I thought of as well as researched and saw things that helped other people try to keep on time, try to keep, yourself managed and everything. So one of them is plan out your week. Find a day of the week that works for you, where it's kind of like your reset day, where you can sit down and really schedule out what your week is going to look like. So Sundays are always really great. I mean, that's kind of standard for reset days, but I know some people have different schedules. So that might be Monday for you, or Wednesdays, or maybe even Fridays. If you wanted to get a head start on the next week, you could also do that. Just whatever day works for you. It's good to, again, visualize what you got to get done that week, what's coming up, what are some big things to look forward to or look out for, so that you know what you need to spend most of your time on, and that what you need to, maybe move some stuff around and everything. Prioritize. So pick out the deadlines that are the most urgent, or items that'll take up the most time. So again, any really big assignments, or maybe like a medical procedure, an appointment or something that's like top priority. Make sure you're noting those out in your whatever tool works for you. It's a schedule, a planner, an app or something, and make sure that you're giving yourself enough time to complete those, like setting yourself more study time, making a set appointment where you need to go to office hours or to the tutor to, work out a different problem or something. Get creative to avoid distractions. So this is where our phones are right here. They're always accessible to us and everything, which some people need to have that, because you might have people reaching out for you, or you might be waiting for a phone call. So, but for those of you, who can, just set your phone on do not disturb so that you don't get any notifications and you can put your full focus onto whatever you're working on. But we also have apps too. So like the Forest app are really cool. The Forest app is really cute because the more that you stay off of your phone, the more like trees that you grow on this little app and everything. So you can kind of grow your own little garden or forest. Or the Pomodoro method. I know Sky talked about this as well during his study habits session last week. So that's also another method that you can utilize. Some people like to do 25-minute intervals and then a 5-minute break. But you can break those up into whatever works for you. So you can do like a full hour and then do a 30-minute break, or you can do 30 minutes and a 10-minute break or something, you know, so whatever works for you, you can do that. Another thing that's really underrated, but also really helpful is asking for help. If you go to a class, if you go to, you know, see your instructor during office hours, if you ask them a question or say, hey, I'm really struggling on this, or even if you're saying, you know, like, would you be okay with extending this by a day or something? Chances are your other classmates might also be feeling the same thing or might also have asked the same thing. So if you go and you know, speak up or say something, say that I need help, they'll most likely, you know, say, oh, okay, you know, if this person's struggling with it, I'm pretty sure there's some other students who are struggling with this as well. So let's go ahead and extend it by a day or something, you know. So if you're ever feeling overwhelmed or stressed out or anything, you know, about a certain assignment or anything really, reach out to your instructor because they're there to help you. They're there to make sure that you're understanding the content without feeling like overwhelmed or anything. So always make sure to reach out to them. And then another thing as well is staying organized. I know it's easier said than done, but it really does help to be organized, especially if you're taking notes in a notebook or have different papers and assignments. Keeping them in their own respective notebooks or folders is going to help you because when you're going back to study for a certain subject or something and you're trying to look for all your papers, that's going to take a lot of time and it's going to make you feel overwhelmed. But if you keep one folder for one class and keep all the assignments, notes, and everything in there, it'll be easier for you to find that note or that assignment, and then you can use that to reference while you're studying and everything. So staying organized really does, you know, it's a really huge factor in saving time. And I know it can be easier said than done most of the time, but it really does pay off. So really try to prioritize being organized when you're doing your when you're in college and stuff. Alrighty, so I think this is the last section, but we're going to talk about focus and motivation because you know, we can tell you all of these tips, we can give you all of the know-hows and pro tips and methods that'll work best for you, but you really need to, you know, work on taking care of yourself because that can also lead to affecting your focus and your motivation. So let's get into some tips here. So we all know that life happens, you know, there's different things that will occur, negative, positive, and life doesn't freeze when you're in college, it goes on. And it can be very easy to get distracted or lose motivation when certain events happen, you know, for example, like, you know, when I was in my sophomore year, I lost my grandma who I was very close to, and that definitely kind of like shook my world and was really hard to kind of get back out of that. And I lost motivation, didn't want to go to class anymore. But you know, once that happens, it's really important to find out what draws the focus away from your studies and assignments. Is it that big event that just happened? Is it this bad grade that you got on this assignment? Is it some bad news that you got? You know, no matter what it is, if it's academic, professional, or personal, you know, challenges, there's always going to be somebody out there to help you. And it's really important for you to find your support system. So that can be some friends, that can be an instructor, your academic advisor, somebody else on campus that you're really close to. I was really close with my one of my work study jobs in the mailroom, my manager. I was really close with her, and then my at admissions as well. I was really close with my admissions counselor there, and I always went to those two whenever I needed to talk about anything. And I swear, just kind of talking and venting your, you know, whatever is bothering you will really help kind of get that out. But also, you can also look for professional help as well. Most campuses will have some sort of counselor or counseling services for you to go utilize. And sometimes as students, you can get different discounts or it'll be even offered to you for free. So definitely look around your resources on campus and see what can help you. Changing locations as well. A new scenery can refresh your mind. So if you're really stressed out on this one assignment or, you know, this one paper, you get writer's block and you can't, you know, type anymore or anything, get up and then go sit somewhere else. You know, you can go to the library, you can go I don't know, go sit at the dinner table, or you can go move from your desk to the couch or something, just a new scenery can kind of help you reset and refresh your mind and get you past whatever's blocking you, and then you can finish out what you need to do. You can also do grounding exercises as well. So one thing I always like to do with the grounding exercise is identifying 5 different things. So like, identify what you can smell, what you can hear, what you can taste, what you can feel, and then what you can see in front of you. So identifying those 5 different things helps you kind of bring you back to the present, stops you from worrying about things that are affecting you like days away, weeks away in the future, and brings you, or in the past, and it can bring you back into the present and say you can only control what happens to you right now. So let's identify what is around you. So that's a really good thing to help you meditate, or even meditation itself can really help you ground yourself and remind you, where you're at, what you can do, what you can control right now. So it can help you from feeling stressed or overwhelmed. Another thing too is asking yourself or reminding yourself of what your values are. What is the reason why you pursued higher education? Why did you choose to go to college? What do you want to do with your college education after? What do you want to do with your degree? What are your values? What are your goals? What is that big thing that you want to accomplish? And how are you going to get there? So just, talking and reminding yourself of those different things can again bring you back down, it can ground you, it can bring you back to the present and help you focus on the things that are around you that you can do and that you can control right then and there. And then, of course, taking care of yourself. So, like I was mentioning, you won't be able to fulfill these different things if you're not taking care of yourself first and foremost. Time management isn't just about getting work done. It's not about just being productive all the time. It's also including time for yourself to keep your mental, physical, and emotional health in balance. So making sure those are all areas that you're taking care of, and making sure that you're prioritizing as well with those as well, along with your academics or your job or whatever else you have to do and everything. And then another thing too is having things to look forward to can be helpful when you're going through stress periods. So whether it's a trip during the weekend, maybe you have a powwow that's coming up that you're excited to dance in, or just to go, um, join or experience. Maybe you get to hang out with some friends this weekend, or maybe tonight you're going to finally sit down and binge watch something on Netflix and, order some food or make some good food for yourself. Maybe it's a trip that's coming up. Maybe you're going to be going to a conference for the first time. All these different things, whether it's small or big, no matter how small or big it is, having those can help you keep moving forward and, keep yourself motivated to get to that final destination, because it'll all be worth it by that point. And then again, if you're struggling on an assignment or a project, step away and do something else. You can go for a walk, you can exercise, you can maybe you're doing some sewing or some beadwork, you can work on that for a little bit. Maybe you can work on a puzzle or do some coloring, or go, do some crochet shopping, or just get away from whatever's in front of you that you can't complete right then and there, and do something else, refresh your mind, reset. And then once you feel ready to go back to it, come back to it and you'll have a fresh mind, and then it'll kind of help you get back into gears of everything. And then lastly, you can go for a walk, lay down, close your eyes, stretch. All of those different things really help your body reset. And it's really important to take care of your body and make sure you're getting enough food in your system, make sure you're getting enough water in your system, and getting enough movement as well, because it's not good to just sit in front or sit and work on like whatever on a laptop or on your assignments or whatever. Make sure you're getting some movement in throughout the day. Get your steps in, so whether it's walking around your house or walking to the library and back or something, just make sure you're doing some type of thing to get your movement going, because that can help reset your mind as well. So last question I want to ask you is, what does a successful semester quarter look like? There's a lot of different answers that will come up here. And honestly, if it makes you feel good, it really depends on you. This can be, anything from success should be defined in your own terms. It really can be, oh, actually, sorry. It's defined in your own terms. If it's numeric, maybe you have a high GPA or straight A's or good grades, that's also, if that makes you feel good, then that's success. We know that that's usually, really celebrated as far as successful terms and stuff, which it is. It's really great if you have those high grades and everything. But also it can be value, it can be a new experience you did. You joined a club that you really enjoy, and now you're really actively participating in it. Maybe you have a clear image of your field of study. After you're taking a class, now you really want to go into science, or you really want to go into becoming an author now or something. You have a clear image of what you want to do. That's success too. That can be value. Or you completed the semester or a quarter. You're past your classes, you completed it when you really didn't think you were going to finish. Maybe you thought you were going to, drop from a class or something, but you pushed through and you completed it. That's also success. If that feels like success, if that feels good to you, if you're proud of that, then that's your success. That's what your value is. That's yours. Nobody can take that from you. It really depends on you what that means. So I just want to end off on this quote, which is from one of my favorite movies, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. So again, like I mentioned, college is not a race. It's not anything you have to be or, do the traditional on time type of stuff. If you do, and if you have, the support and you really want to do it, go for it. But there's also enough room for you to relax and reflect on everything and stop and look around, because college goes by so fast, it really does. And once you get out to the real life, or after you finish your degrees and everything, then it kind of gets into the chaos again, right? So really, take your time in college. It's not a race, and make sure that you're making enough time for yourself to relax and to look around, because again, you could miss it. So yeah, thanks everybody so much. That is my presentation. Um, Again, my name is Adrianna. I'm one of the college success coaches. So sorry for the technical difficulties. Again, we can't really avoid that. It always happens, but thanks y'all for sticking around. If you have any questions, I'll be hanging around here for a second, but thank y'all so much for that. And let's hold on. Let me share the evaluation, if I can find it. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Oh my God, nothing wants to work. Okay. So again, well, tomorrow we'll be starting off again at 2 o'clock with Loyola on conferences, and then we'll be ending on Thursday with managing stress with Jacqueline, and then we'll be having our social as well to end off the week 2. But yeah, here's the event evaluation. And thanks all so much for hanging on there. My apologies again for the technical difficulties, but this video will be uploaded onto our YouTube so you can watch the full thing. But yeah, please fill out the event evaluation so that you can be qualified to win the door prizes. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and take care of yourselves, and we'll see you again hopefully for the next couple of sessions. And again, week 3 is next week again, and we'll be talking more about that as we get started. So thanks, y'all. Have a great rest of your day.